Hi everyone, today I want to talk about retirement, the build up to retirement. A lot of you in our 60 community are retired already, but many are in that zone of getting ready. You're just ready to retire, you've got maybe a 2 or 3 year plan, and it's not as easy as it sounds, because as soon as you put the thought in your mind that you are going to retire, that you're going to stop working and try something different, whether it's to travel or a new job or a new business or whatever, you're going to break that routine that you've been in for the last 30, 40 years. It can be challenging. Now, one of our bloggers, Deborah Voll, wrote this good article actually on navigating the countdown to retirement. And this is for people that are in that mode of knowing they're going to quit, knowing they're going to give up their job, maybe even mentioned it to their employers, but contemplating that next step. And it's a journey. Trust me, it's a journey. Now, I know from my own experience that when I was in a corporate job in my late 50s, I felt like I was losing currency. And it wasn't that people knew I was going to be retiring, but I think as you get older, it's just a reality in our world today that you are less important to the person, that's with you or you're managing or whatever. They see other people, their doorway to success, and you become less valuable to them. So those last years in retirement can be tricky because you may not get the promotion that you want, you may not get the bonus or the attention, because I think there's still a stereotype about older women, particularly, and it could be for men too, are just not valuable. But this is some ideas of how you can take that time in that 3 or 4, maybe 2 year zone where you think you're losing currency, you want to walk out the door today, but you've got to plan. And you've got to do, some work on preparing, not just financially, because at the end of all of this, you're going to lose that monthly salary, but also the people that you connect with, your friends, your family, your community around you, your co-workers, but also your skills. And Deborah's got some ideas, I think, that are very, very useful, because as you move into the new world, you may find it's not quite the same one that you had when you were in your 20s and 30s. So embrace things to embrace and prepare for retirement while you're still in the job. First of all, lifelong learning. If you have been in a job for 20, 30, 40 years, you probably have got very good at one thing, what you do. I mean, that job could be very complex. It could be very straightforward and repetitive, but whatever it is, you do it well. You've learned all the ropes. But there's a world that's been happening out there that you may not know about. And it could be a world that you're a little bit unfamiliar with. Now, as you probably know if you watch my videos, I'm a big fan of artificial intelligence, AI. I think it's got risks. I think it needs regulation, but I think it has got a lot to offer for us in terms of helping with our projects, helping with our information gathering. And I really do personally have no problems with it. But it may be something that you've got to take some classes on, you've got to do some research, and you need to stay current is what I'm saying. That even if you're giving up your job in a year's time, 2 years, or even 5 years, don't wait to start learning what's going on in the world of technology, the world of cultural things, all the things that you are going to be living with after your retirement date. Now, don't forget, if you're retiring in your 60s, you've got 20, 30 years ahead of you still. What are you going to do? Yes, a lot of people say, I've retired and now I'm really bored. Well, that is true. You might want to start a new business, or you might want to start a brand new career. But you've got to try to take some training that is geared for seniors, things that are, going to help you through in a sort of not a slow, methodical way. That's another stereotype, but in a way that you can manage. If you have never looked at AI before, if you've never looked at the developments in your industry, you may feel like you need some help just getting up to speed. So make a plan, be prepared, and maybe ask yourself, what is there one thing about your business or what you're doing right now in your work that you never knew before? That's something that's happened in your industry that you need to know more about. Really, really important. Another thing that Deborah talks about, which is really super important, is networking and mentoring. Now, as you get older and further along in your career, you have actually learned a lot. And you've got a lot to share. And this is one way that you can actually feel purposeful in those days when maybe you're not as recognized or as present as you would like to be. Mentor someone. Go up to somebody who's new in your business, maybe someone that you have hired, and say, hey, I would love to spend some time with you, getting you up to speed on this, because I think it's a really important thing for your career. Share your wisdom. And there are some platforms like LinkedIn, which you may not be using anymore. Especially if you're close to retirement, you may have thought, oh, forget it. I'm not going to bother with LinkedIn. But it's a really cool site, and it's not just for professional growth. You can build communities there. You can get support, and you'll find a lot of your friends who maybe retired before you or are still working, and you just have forgotten about because you've been heads down. Maybe consider joining a professional group. Attend industry events. If you're in an industry or in a job role that where people get together and meet, and you've thought, oh, I'm not going to bother anymore. What's the point? I don't want to be, moving ahead or whatever. I'm just going to retire in 2 years. Go and just do it for the networking and for the opportunity to mentor someone. It's a really, really cool idea. Now, the sun's coming out here. Hopefully it's going to give me some better light today. It's kind of a funny wintry day, and it's not very much bright light. So hopefully you can see me. By the way, if anybody's interested, I just got this new eyeshadow palette by Pat McGrath. I keep mentioning makeup because I love this particular one. It's a little mermaid eyes. It's really cool palette, but yeah, I'm into everything, right? Retirement, makeup, beauty, everything. So anyway, okay, in addition to mentoring and skill refining, there's also setting short-term goals. Now, when your retirement is your ultimate goal, what are the short-term ones? Okay, maybe you want to say, I want to help people. I want to get involved in something that's going to help with a passion, something that I'm really passionate about. Well, set a short-term goal to learn more about that, to make some contacts. Volunteer for projects. When you're working, I don't know why I'm saying this, because you will know this. When you're working, that's not all that you have to do. You can certainly get out and mentor, volunteer, do all these, set all these personal short-term goals that are going to make the time that maybe the 3 or 4 years that you've got still to work in your own mind, based on your financial plan, on your budgeting and so on. Celebrate the milestones in your own job, but don't sort of, worry about what's next. But you can, if you are thinking about what is next, what are your passions? If you've got, I don't really know what I'm going to do when I retire, or I'm not really sure of how I'm going to spend my time, then just think about it. What are your passions? What are the things that you really love to do? And, find some balance between work and life. Let that life section take a little bit more of a presence in your life. And in that balance, that work-life balance, do things that you love. And then you might just find the next great thing that you're going to be interested in, you're going to share. And when people ask themselves, what are you going to do when you're retired? Well, I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to not have an alarm wake me up. I'm going to travel. You list these things, but sort of substantially, what is your purpose after you've give up this work that you've been, admired and recognized and thanked for? What's next? Maybe it's travel. Maybe it's many, things you've got on your list, of your bucket list, as they say. But the most important thing, I think, to think about is what's going to make you happy. And if that's money, you've got to have a financial plan. Okay? If it's the people that you work with and you are going to miss them like crazy, think about your emotional well-being. How much are you actually defined by your job? What's going to slip away when you no longer have that job to go to in the morning and to talk about and to do email on and whatever? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What strategies are you using to prepare for retirement? Now, I know, I would say maybe 40% of our community is already retired, done. But there's a good portion of younger people joining 60andMe in their 50s, where they've got a plan for working for some time. Even, maybe in their 60s and 70s, you still want to work, but you want to get out of the rhythm of the what you've been in for years. So this is the time to prepare financially, emotionally, socially. How connected are you going to be to the things you love when you are finally in that golden moment of retirement? I'd love your comments. Are you enthusiastic about retirement? How are you finding it if you are retired? Let's have a conversation. Now, if you like this video, would you do me a huge favor and like it? Just, click the like button or leave a comment. That's even better. And share with each other. If you see someone that's making a comment you can address, jump in and talk. It's really useful for the people in the community and also for me and getting the word out in YouTube about our channel. So hope that you're okay. Hang in there, do well, stay focused where you are, but plan for the future. Have a plan for retirement. And I hope that this has been helpful for you. Love your feedback though. Take good care, everybody. Lots and lots of love. Bye.